This is a review of the Truffle wooden charging base. This is currently plugged into 5 different devices. It has 5 USB output ports, can support up to 36 watts of output, which is pretty good. Basically, let's follow this through and see what it's charging right now. This is a fairly typical setup for my household. This one is going off here to a wooden charging puck that is wirelessly charging my Samsung Galaxy S3. The second one over is going to an ammeter that is reading 1.74 amps, and then that is going into my Galaxy Tab Pro. And 1.74 amps is actually pretty good for the Galaxy Tab because all too often I can only get about 1.5 or 1.6 out of a standard charging station. Alright, the next one I believe is coming over here to my Samsung Galaxy Note phone, then to a Windows tablet, and then finally to a small battery pack. So it is charging all 5 of these devices at the same time, and as you can see is putting a decent amount of output out for the Galaxy Tab Pro. The interesting thing is if you look at the text on this, it says that these 2 ports are 2.4 amp ports and that these 3 are universal 1 amp ports. The interesting thing though is when you follow the ammeter up to this one, it's actually plugged into one of the 1 amp ports, and yet it's putting out 1.73 amps. For the devices that I have, at any rate, just testing with a phone, testing with that puck charger, testing with the Galaxy Tab Pro, I really got very little difference between any of these ports. They all are capable of putting out enough power to do anything you want. So I'm not exactly sure why they label the ports as they did. There could be that there is something special over here that some devices can take advantage of. But for my needs, this is actually a plus, not a minus, because I love not having to look to see where I'm plugging things in, knowing that I can just plug anything into any slot and it will fully charge. Okay, I've removed all the cables so we can get a better look at this thing. I've left the Samsung Galaxy S3 phone in there so that you can use it for a size comparison. This is, however, thicker than a phone, as you can see. There are the ports. You can also see that there is a touch of aluminum, and then there is the black rubber base on the bottom. It feels very solid, very stable, stays down quite well. There's an instruction manual, user's manual rather, and then the power brick going to the power cord which plugs into the wall socket. The maximum power output of this device at any given time is 7.2 amps, so a little bit under what we would expect from every single thing plugged in, because that would be 4.8, 5, 6, 7.8 that you would expect just from looking at the writing. 7.2, however, is not bad. That's plenty for 2 tablets, 3 phones, 2 tablets, a charging receiver, a battery pack, a USB headphones, whatever you choose. I'm perfectly fine with a device that comes in just a hair under. If this were something like a 3 or 4 amp device, then I would be crying foul, but 7.2 strikes me as pretty good. I like that this is an attractive device, unlike all too many of these devices which seem to be rather utilitarian rather than thinking about that you actually have to look at these. The size is a little bit larger probably because of the wooden surrounding, but not unduly so, and this is something that I would cheerfully leave out on a living room table. The cables, of course, do detract from the decor a bit, but I don't think there's any way to get away from that. Bottom line is, it's really an attractive device. It seems like it's putting out sufficient power, and I love that I don't have to worry about which port I'm plugging something into, that I can get a decent amount of power out of whatever port I use.